Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I hope you all got a great Christmas this year or last year and had a great New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. And I hope that 2021 will be a better year for you than 2020 was. I hope this year will be better for everyone and that we can hopefully get our normal life back again. And I hope 2020 was still, even though it wasn't a great year, it was a bad year, I hope you still got to work on your goals and did the things that you love. So I know I did, and I hope you guys had that as well. And I just wanted to wish you Happy New Year. So Happy New Year. Snow om Godem. Gelukkig nieuwjaar en beste wensen. I wish you all the best, guys. All the luck and health and happiness and everything that you want, all your wishes to come true this year. And I want to thank you, of course, all for watching my videos and subscribing to my channel. That means so much to me. I hope this year to make more good and interesting videos for you guys. Today I wanted to show you guys all the books that I got as a present for Christmas and for New Year. Just to show you the books that I'm going to read in 2021. This year. It's so strange to say this year because I still kind of sometimes have the feeling that I'm still in 2020, but it's 2021. I still kind of have to get used to that, you know. I think we all have to kind of get used to the fact that it's already 2021. Almost all the holidays are over. The Christmas and New Year's are over, but because I'm Russian, I do celebrate Christmas and New Year's twice. So in Russia, most of the people don't celebrate Christmas on the 24th, 25th, and 26th of December, but we celebrate on 7th January. And we do all the presents and get together with the family on 31st of December. So it's a little bit different because of different calendars. But because I'm living in the Netherlands, I celebrate Christmas on the 24th until 26th. And also the 31st of December and 1st January as New Year's Eve and New Year's. Then I celebrate Christmas again on 7th January. And on 13th of January we celebrate New Year's again. So it's a little bit weird, I know. We celebrate twice, so that's why I still have the Christmas tree. And I got a lot of books because I have asked for a lot of books as a present. And also because, yeah, we do a little bit more Christmas stuff, Christmas related and New Year's related stuff in December and January. And celebrate everything twice, so it's a lot of books that I got. And I always love watching videos from other YouTubers who talk about all the Christmas presents, and especially if it's book related, because I love to see what kind of books people are getting for Christmas or asking for Christmas. And this year my Christmas list was mainly existing of books, so yeah, I have 2 piles of books next to me. And I'm going to show you all the books that I got and just talk a little bit about the book, why I asked for the book or why I got the book. First 3 books that I'm going to show you guys are books that I got from my best friend. And she also gave me this small book about reading goals. So it's a reading challenge for 2021. And I want to read 50 books this year. Last year my challenge was to read 20 books. I have succeeded in this challenge. I have read 28 books, and now I want to upgrade that to 50 books, and I just hope to read more this year because I really enjoyed reading last year. And they also have like all these challenges for books to read. Challenges like read a human book, that means a book about emotions, existence, and big subjects in life. Or read a book, a high book, that means a book that is taking place in the mountains. Or read a book that is about successful people, things like that. So every time you read a book about the subjects, you can cross it off your list. So I really enjoyed this idea. Further, she gave me a book that I wanted to read for a long time. It is often referred by other authors or other books and movies, and it's Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. I honestly don't really know what this book is about. So yeah, it's going to be a surprise what it's about. And the book is in German. So I don't read much in German, but it's going to be fun to read it in German and yeah, to see if I enjoy it and if I understand everything. So it's going to be a challenge to read something in German. Then she gave me this book, Talking with Serial Killers. Dead Man Talking by Christopher Barry D. So it's a true crime genre, and I really enjoy reading true crime. So yeah, I'm very excited for this one, and it's from the Sunday Times best-selling true crime author. I haven't read anything else from this author, so yeah, I'm just looking forward to start reading it. And then a book that I have heard so much good things about it. Actually, these are two books. I got like the second part of the book, but you can read them separately. So I don't know which one I will start first, the first book or this one. But it's Before the Coffee Gets Cold, and this is Tales from the Cafe. And you have also the first book, Before the Coffee Gets Cold, and it's about these people who are going to a cafe and drinking coffee. And they can go back to the past, I think, or to like another world, meet up with people that they haven't seen or for a long time, and they have to come back before the coffee gets cold. So I think it's a very interesting concept. So yeah, and I think it's a very beautiful color, and just the cover of the book is very beautiful, and it's by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. I hope I'm saying it right. Then me and my husband got ourselves for Christmas a present, because we both love the Lord of the Rings trilogy and other books from Tolkien. We decided to buy a very beautiful pocket edition of the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit combined, and it's this one, and I think it's so great. You have the Hobbit, the Fellowship of the Ring, Two Towers, and the Return of the King. And yeah, they're very small, so it's pocket edition, but I think they look so beautiful. And the Hobbits, with also a map inside, and yeah, I'm very excited to reread The Hobbit, because The Hobbit is one of my favorite books and I have read it multiple times, but I would love to reread it. And then read the Lord of the Rings series. And I have to admit, I have never read Lord of the Rings series. I only watched the movies, and it's my favorite movies, especially The Fellowship of the Ring. I have read The Hobbit, I have read some other books of Tolkien, but I never finished The Lord of the Rings. I did start The Fellowship of the Ring, so I kind of feel like a fake fan. And I hope this year, I'm saying it wrong, I am going to read this year the whole series of Lord of the Rings. It's a commitment that I'm going to make, and I'm going to start it from the beginning. I still can decide if I'm going to start with The Hobbit and then moving on to the Lord of the Rings, or that I'm going to start immediately with the Lord of the Rings, because I already know and have read The Hobbit multiple times. I think it's going to be the second thing, so starting with the Lord of the Rings right away. And I hope to start reading the Lord of the Rings series in January or February, so as soon as possible. It's like on my to-do list for as soon as possible. Then I got two books from Haruki Murakami, because I'm still collecting all of his work and I'm still reading all of his work. And the first one is After Dark, and the second one is Sputnik Love. I hope that's their original title, because I got them in Dutch, so I don't know what's the English title. I think also Sputnik Love. Yeah, I think it's Sputnik Love in English, the English title, but in Dutch it's Sputnik Liefde, and After Dark they didn't translate it, it's just After Dark. And I already finished this one. So I got this one for my birthday, because I'm also am born in December, but I kind of counting it in with Christmas presents and New Year's presents. And I already finished this one this week. And yeah, I really liked it. I gave it 3.5 stars. I kind of felt like, even though it's not a big book, I kind of feel like some of the characters are still a little bit mysterious. You don't know much about them, even though I hoped I would get to know them better. And the story kind of ended in a strange way. So I felt like the story wasn't finished. And it's all taking place in one night. So yeah, how much can you tell, of course? I have to say it's a very beautiful story, but it missed a little bit some information for me. So that's why it's not 4 stars or 5 stars, but it's almost 4 stars for me. And maybe I should reread it someday, because I did enjoy it. And then Sputnik Love, I don't know what it's really like about. I'm holding it the whole time wrong. Sputnik Love. It's a little bit bigger, and yeah, I'm just really excited to read it. It is about love, so far I know, so that's something. I really enjoy Murakami's books, and I think they're very romantic, but also have some magical parts in it, magical realism, and the characters are very lovable and interesting and sometimes very weird. So, and I got a beautiful card that came along with the book. So yeah. And then, of course, one of my favorite writers has to be on this list as well. So I also got a new book from Stephen King, which is The Stand. It's not a new book published by him, but it is a new book for me. I haven't read The Stand yet, and I know they are making a new TV show of it. I have already watched the first 2 episodes, and I really enjoyed them. And yeah, I hope to read this book this year. And it's about this super flu who is killing the world. So yeah, I'm kind of glad that I'm not reading it right now. I'm quite excited for it because I heard a lot of people love this book and that it's really good. So I can't wait to start it. But like I said, I'm going to start the Lord of the Rings series first. And I still have to read Crime and Punishment, still have to finish Crime and Punishment. I hope to finish it this week. I'm almost through the entire book. And I'm still kind of thinking about starting reading In the It from Stephen King. So it's also a very big book. So I don't know when I'm going to read it, but I'm definitely going to read it this year. Next one is also a book that I'm very excited for. It's I think I'm going to say that for every book because I'm very excited to read all of his books. But yeah, this one is also a book that I wanted to read for a long time, and it's American Psycho, and it's written by Bret Easton Ellis. I have never read anything from this author, but I know American Psycho is like a classic horror book, and yeah, I always wanted to read it, and I did kind of enjoy the movie when I was in high school, even though it's a long time ago that I have seen it, but I'm so excited to read the book. Then I have a Japanese literature book, which is Snowland by Yasunari Kawabata. I think it's a very beautiful cover. This one is also in Dutch. I found this detail very nice, which is Snowland written in Japanese. Yeah, and I just love the cover, and I'm very excited to read this book as well. Like all the books. I'm sorry. Then another Japanese book, which is this one. It's also in Dutch, but the English title is The Traveling Cat Chronicles by Hiro Arikawa. In Dutch, it's Reisverslag van een kat. And yeah, I don't really know what it is about. It is about a cat. It's yeah, it's in the title. But it's about a cat that's taking a road trip, and yeah, she meets a lot of people, and it's from the perspective of a cat, I think. So yeah, I really wanted to read it because I love cats. Then I have 2 books from Shirley Jackson. And before, I have to admit, before the TV show, The Haunting on Hill House, I have never really read anything from Shirley Jackson. And I also, didn't hear much about her or about the story. But I absolutely loved The Haunting of Hill House, on Hill House of Hill House. And I think it's an amazing TV show. It's one of the best horror TV shows. So I really wanted to read the book as well when I heard that it was based on a book. And yeah, so I have The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. And I also was very excited for her other book, which is We Have Always Lived in the Castle. In the Castle, yes. And these are both modern classics, Penguin modern classics. And yeah, I hope to read them as well as soon as possible because they're not that big. So I think I'm going to finish them quite fast. Then I have another Penguin book. Not a Penguin classic, but it is a Penguin edition, Penguin Language and Linguistics. So as you know, and you're following my channel, I really love languages and language learning. So I was very excited to read this language myths book. It's about all the myths that are made about language learning, like that older people can't learn languages, or that you can never learn a language as a child does, or what else isn't in there? Italian is beautiful and German is ugly. Things like that. So it's about prejudice that people have about languages, but also just things that some people believe in, and those things are kind of limiting them to learn a language. So yeah, I found it very interesting. And so another language myth that they say is women talk too much. So I'm very excited to read what they say about that. Another thing is social and personal factors and speaking rate, and that some languages are spoken faster than others. I think it will give me a lot of knowledge about language learning, and about some language myths that people have and still kind of use. And yeah, I think it will be an amazing book to read this year. Then next, and something entirely different, science fiction. And I don't read much science fiction, but I really want to read this one as soon as possible. And it's Roadside Picnic by Strugatsky brothers, Arkady and Boris Strugatsky. And this book is the inspiration for the movie Stalker, but also for the game Stalker. If you're playing games and you like horror games, then maybe you know Stalker, which is like a whole anthology. And yeah, this was the inspiration for it. So it's a very, they say it's a very good science fiction book. I hope I will enjoy it, even though I don't have much experience with science fiction. Another thing that I find very interesting to read is mythology, legends, and just stories like that. So I got 2 books from my parents about Chinese and Japanese mythology. Yeah, I think they are both so beautiful. They are from the same publisher, which is Oxford University Press, and they are both being used, I think, as study books as well for people who are studying mythology or the Chinese and Japanese culture, I think. So there's a lot of information in here. These are not, I think, books that you read from the beginning to the end, but just read some parts of it. But I just love to have them. And I already started reading some of the Japanese mythology. And so far it's very interesting. Then I also got some other Japanese mythology, and it's from Lafcadio Hearn, I hope I'm saying it correctly, made it his life's work to study the world's supernatural superstitions with a particular focus on Asian cultures. This volume brings together a series of traditional Japanese ghost stories as well as several first-hand accounts of unusual occurrences in the country. A must-read for fans of comparative mythology. So yeah, that sounds amazing. And the title is Kwaidan Stories and Studies of Strange Things. I've already started reading this book on my e-reader, but I really wanted to have a hard copy. Yeah, I have finished the first story and really enjoyed it, so I'm quite excited for the other stories as well. And then I have another Japanese mythology, supernatural mythology book, which is Japan Supernatural. And I think this book is so beautiful. I got it from my husband, and I'm so grateful for it, for all the presents, for all the books. But this one, I saw it someday in the bookshop, and I really wanted to have it. And it has some beautiful artwork in here. I will show you some of the things. And it's all about ghosts, demons, and yeah, everything from Japanese history and folklore. So yeah, very beautiful. There are of course some information about the mythologies and about the pictures that they are showing, but mostly focused on the artwork and on the paintings that were made at the time. And then the last book that I got from my parents about this kind of subjects is this one. It's Demon and Demonology. It's a little bit different from mythology, but it has of course something to do with mythology. And this book is about different demons, of course, but also about the Bible and the witch trials and everything related to this kind of things. A lot of information, even more than maybe you would like to know, but I think it's quite interesting, and I already started reading it. It's also something that you just sometimes read in and not really begin from beginning to the end, I think. At least I'm not using this kind of books like that. It's more things that I look up, or sometimes I feel like reading in this kind of books and learn more about folklore and mythology. Moving on, also a book from my parents, which is Han by Min Jin Lee. I really, when I discovered the author Min Jin Lee this year, or last year in 2020, I wanted to know more about her and also read more of her work. And it's about immigrant children and the generation differences and the struggles that they are having. I think mostly in America. I loved her book Pachinko, and I'm very excited to read her other works. It is very big, so it will take me some time, and I don't know when I'm going to start it, but I'm interested what she has to say about the subject. Then I have another Japanese literature book, which is by Shusaku Endo, and it's called Silence. Yeah, I haven't heard anything about this book, but my father said that it would be an amazing read, so I'm trusting on that, and I can't wait to read it. It's not very big, so I hope it won't take me much time and I can read it as soon as possible. And I have read the backside of the book, and it sounds very promising, because they're saying if you read this book you really want to travel to Japan. Well, I really want to travel to Japan again. I really would like to know what this book is about, so it's high on the list. Then next one, it's a little bit, I think it's not mythology, but it's about the philosophy of horror. That's the title, but it's about horror and how horror is used in entertainment. And it's written by Noel Carroll. Noel Carroll is a philosopher and film schooler, and he has written multiple books about movies, but this is only focused on horror. And because I love horror, I hope that this will give me more information about horror as a genre and about the philosophy of horror. Okay, then we are almost at the end of all the books, and there were a lot of books. The last three that I have are all three Japanese books. I will start out with Soseki Natsume. I have already read something from him last year, which is Kokoro, and I loved it. I understand that this is the first part of a trilogy, and it's I Am a Cat. I don't know what it's about. It's about someone. It's from the perspective of a cat again. I have the feeling that Japanese literature loves cats, because I have a lot of books about cats from Japanese literature. Yeah, I don't know what to expect. I don't know what the whole trilogy is about, and I'm just going to read it and to find out, and I hope it's as good or even better than Kokoro. Then I have a story collection of all Japanese authors that are quite famous, and it's this book. I think it's only available in Dutch, because it's a Dutch collection of all the Japanese stories that are being translated, and it's translated by Luc van Houten. Luc van Houten is also the person that translated Kokoro in Dutch, in the Dutch language that I have read, and he is a scholar. I think he's even a professor who teaches at a university in the Netherlands, but he got his degree in Japanese literature in Tokyo, and then he started translating a lot of books, and I really like him as a translator. I think he does an amazing work, and that his translations are so good. So I'm very excited to read all the stories in here, and I think some amazing big Japanese authors are mentioned in this book, or their stories are in this book. I will name some of them. Soseki Natsume is in here. The Third Night, the story The Third Night. It's all in Dutch, so I have to translate it in my head. Another famous one, Junichiro Tanizaki. There is Ranpo Edogawa. I have already read an entire book from Ranpo Edogawa, and I did enjoy his ghost stories, so I don't know if this is a ghost story or not. That's my cat that you're hearing. Then there's also Yasunari Kawabata in here, and there's a lot of writers in here, so I can't wait to start this one as well. And with all these books, I really want to read them all together, but this one I can read some stories at some time, and not like the entire book in at once. So maybe I can read some of the stories and then read other books as well. We shall see. And then the last one is also a very big one, as you can see, and it's from Fatherland with Love by Ryu Murakami. I really like Ryu Murakami. Like, from what I understand, it's fiction, and it's about North Korea and Japan. So I don't know if it's like in the future or not, or like in this time, but yeah, it's one big mystery to me what this book is about, and I didn't expect it to be this big. So this will take me some time to get through, but I hope it is interesting. And yeah, like with all of these books, I think I have a lot of great books to read in 2021. I hope to finish them all. And like I said, I'm still reading Crime and Punishment, and I'm almost, almost. I kind of have to read 200 pages. So that's not a lot, but I'm not reading it as fast as other books that I read sometimes, because the sentences are very long, of course. I read it in Dutch, by the way. I didn't have the version in Russian, so I started it out in Dutch, and maybe that's better because I read a little bit faster in Dutch than in Russian. But yeah, like I said, the sentences are quite long. Like, a lot of the dialogues are with this respectable language and very beautiful language, but sometimes you have to read the sentences again and again to really understand what they're saying. I did had a lot of things that I liked, like all of this green stuff that I have in books, the green notations. Those are things that I liked or found interesting or beautiful. So there are some things in here. And so far the story is slow at the beginning, but now it's getting a little bit of a pace in it. There are more things happening. So this was all for the books that I got for Christmas and New Year. Thank you so much for everyone who gave me a present, for my parents, for my husband and my best friend. And I'm very happy with all the books, and I hope to read them as soon as possible. And for you guys, I would like to hear in the comments down below what kind of presents you got, if you asked for books, and what kind of books did you get. And also, I don't know if Russia is the only country that is giving presents on New Year's Eve. So maybe if you're also doing presents on New Year's Eve, I would like to know that. So yeah, let me know. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.